The story unfolds in a world ravaged by an unknown virus that has wiped out the entire human population, except for one man. For 2 years, Philip, now humanity's sole survivor, roams aimlessly across vast, desolate landscapes in a desperate search for another living soul. Loneliness gnaws at his sanity, until one day his journey takes an unforeseen turn when he encounters a woman. She whispers a shocking revelation. They are the last 2 humans left alive, and it is up to them to repopulate the earth. And so begins their extraordinary tale. Before this meeting, Philip's life was a monotonous blend of survival and solitude. Disheartened by the absence of human connection, he finally retreats to his hometown, hoping for some semblance of familiarity. In this abandoned sanctuary, Philip sees an empty signboard where he scribbles a desperate message. One person is still alive. He returns to his crumbling house but soon ponders, why suffer here when I can live in luxury? With no one left to stop him, he takes over the mansion of the wealthiest man in town. In this lavish home, he indulges whims he could never have fulfilled before. He decorates it with priceless artifacts stolen from renowned museums, paintings worth billions, an ancient Egyptian mummy's sarcophagus, even a dinosaur skull that becomes the centerpiece of his dining room. Yet, these material treasures do little to fill the gaping void in his soul. As night falls, Philip's mind turns inward. Lonely and troubled, he reflects on his solitude and quietly apologizes to God for his compulsive actions over the past 2 years, coping mechanisms born of sheer isolation. The next morning, a new problem arises. The water supply has stopped. To remedy this, he fetches bottles of Bisleri water and uses them to clean himself, adapting to his minimal needs. Hunger eventually takes over, and Philip makes his way to a deserted supermarket. Instead of bothering with locked doors, he blows them open with a shotgun, a rebellious thrill that momentarily amuses him. Inside, he grabs assorted food supplies and can't help but notice a rack of risque magazines. Adding those to his haul as if clinging to bygone human pleasures, he leaves with his loot. That evening, he savors a bottle of wine worth an unimaginable fortune, another audacious symbol of a world without rules or repercussions, and mutters a half-hearted thank you to God before retreating to bed. He spends his days engaging in increasingly reckless behavior to stifle his boredom and despair. Smashing delicate, valuable items becomes routine until it no longer satisfies him. One afternoon, he takes it further by crashing an extravagant Mustang sports car into a junk vehicle before watching both explode in roaring flames. What drives Philip's erratic behavior? Is it mere nihilism? Or perhaps a desperate attempt to reaffirm his existence in a world stripped of its vibrancy? As the narrative unfolds, we begin to see how isolation transforms him, making each day a symbolic battle between survival and the human need for connection. And now, with the arrival of this mysterious woman, the story is poised to explore whether companionship can redeem what once seemed irreparably lost. How long can the poor guy keep himself entertained by wandering around with his handcart? Days pass by, and soon Philip's house turns into a junkyard. But why would he bother cleaning it? After all, it wasn't even his home. In his ever-declining state, he fills a rubber pool with alcohol and takes a soak in it while drinking. Eventually, the inevitable urge to use the bathroom arises. However, his toilet is already clogged with junk. Improvising, he cuts a swimming pool plank in half and uses it as a makeshift toilet. After relieving himself, he heads to a bar and offers alcohol to the toys there. Of course, the toys remain silent, prompting him to drink the entire bottle himself. Inevitably, the alcohol takes its toll, and Philip passes out. Later, when he wakes up, he picks up a toy doll and starts driving. His destination? A different doll, one belonging to a girl he's long admired from afar. He speaks to the doll with heartfelt words, telling her how he's wanted to approach her but lacked the courage until now. With emotion running high, he kisses her, but mid-act, her arm breaks off. Distraught by this accident, Philip falls into deeper despair. The next day, he drives up to a hill and etches R.I.P. Philip into its surface. He speeds toward it in an attempt to end his life by crashing his car. But, as he's about to carry out his plan, something unexpected catches his eye. Smoke rising from beyond the hill, quickly swerving away from his path of destruction. Curiosity takes over. He drives toward the source of the smoke and discovers a campsite at the scene, complete with the sight of a girl's bra hanging on display. Carol chimed in with a cheeky remark, suggesting that Melissa might want to reconsider, since Philip apparently used the house's bridge for peculiar purposes. Hearing this, Melissa hesitated and decided she'd find another place to stay. As she prepared to leave, Carol extended a dinner invitation, which Melissa gladly accepted. Carol hugged her warmly before parting ways, not one to miss an opportunity of physical contact. Philip interjected himself into the embrace and hugged Melissa from behind. Later that evening, while the household prepared for dinner, Philip surprised everyone by showing up clean-shaven, a noticeable change since he always refused Carol's requests to do so. It was evident to Carol that his newfound look was an attempt to impress Melissa, showcasing just how far he was willing to go for her attention. At the dinner table that night, Philip couldn't help but fixate on Melissa, internally kicking himself for rushing into his marriage with Carol. In an effort to please Melissa, he enthusiastically agreed with everything she said. Her favorite movie, also his favorite. Her preferred food, miraculously his choice too. And of course, her dream car. It was conveniently his dream as well. It was painfully transparent that he was trying to fabricate a connection between them. After dinner, while taking a break, Carol stumbled upon Philip enjoying a little too much of Melissa's company in their shared home. Carol invited Philip for a date, but he wasn't in the mood and declined, using the excuse of having a stomachache. Curious and slightly suspicious, Carol asked him if he was attracted to Melissa. Philip denied it bluntly and went to bed. However, later that night, Melissa showed up and invited him out. Drawn to her, Philip began to follow her like a puppy until he stumbled upon Carol, sitting awkwardly on the commode. The sight startled him and sent him running. The next morning, as Philip exercised in his yard to flaunt his physique, Melissa appeared and caught him in the act. She questioned his antics, to which Philip explained it was a gift for her because he had broken her limousine. Melissa dismissed the gesture, saying such an effort wasn't necessary. At that moment, Carol joined the conversation, sarcastically asking Philip if he had bought Melissa a new car. He admitted doing so because he damaged the limo. Frustrated, Carol rebuked him for fussing over Melissa when he couldn't even find time to fix her broken door, a task she had repeatedly asked him to handle. To add to the tension, Carol decided to show Melissa a wedding portrait she had drawn herself. Curious, Melissa asked why they didn't live together if they were married. Carol's response was sharp. "I can't live with him. He's too messy. I married him only for the sake of repopulating the earth." Later, while Philip was finally fixing the door, Melissa approached again with an invitation. She suggested they all have beer at her place that evening, since she had a generator to chill it. However, Philip decided to go alone without informing Carol, lying that she wasn't feeling well enough to join them. During their time together, Melissa revealed her longing, admitting she'd been searching for a man for years because it had been so long since she'd had any enjoyment in life. She candidly expressed her unfulfilled desires. Trying to empathize, Philip replied that her feelings were completely natural. Melissa then added that she respected him and Carol for staying together despite their conflicts. Deep inside, though, Philip was craving to confess his unhappiness in his marriage and his frustration over being stuck with Carol while yearning for someone like Melissa. His thoughts boiled down to one thing: feeling trapped in his relationship with someone he deemed unbearable. Melissa lamented her bad luck, joking about how the only other man she'd come across on Earth turned out to be married. With a bold declaration, Philip assured her that he wouldn't remain married much longer and stormed off to confront Carol. Yet, when he returned home and saw Carol lovingly crafting a heart-shaped frame from their wedding photo to hang on their door, something shifted inside him. Overcome by pity and guilt at the thought of shattering her attempt at rekindling their bond, Philip swallowed his words and chose not to go through with the breakup. He quietly walked away instead. As the story concluded on this emotional note, an Audi appeared on the horizon, signaling the arrival of yet another person, someone else who was alive in this eerily deserted world. Their discovery of Philip's alive sign prompted them to head toward the town. The questions linger. Who is this newcomer? Are there more survivors? And will Philip ever get his chance with Melissa, or mend his fragmented relationship with Carol? All of this will unfold in the next chapter. Stay tuned.